Let's go through patch notes. So patch 11.11, 11.11. I am going to give my thoughts on the patch. I actually only read the patch briefly, so some of this is kind of new to me, but I skim read, so you know, maybe I'm gonna have some insightful stuff, maybe not. Let's find out. But cool. They do their very quirky. These the people who write these patch notes are super quirky and like weird in the way they type and the way they joke around the patch, which is fine, but you know, sometimes it's a bit hard to read, but it's okay. So there's the patch highlights. I'm not going to read that because I'm a good League of Legends player. I'm going to read the actual patch notes. So they buffed Azir, which is interesting. Cool. I'm sure Witness Azir will be happy. I hosted him a couple days ago. So they say he was soaring too high in pro play, so they lowered his altitude in 11.5. So they nerfed him pretty hard in 11.5, I remember. But is this enough to bring him back into the meta? Maybe. What matchups does Azir struggle into right now? My matchup knowledge on Azir has not been great recently. So I'm not 100% sure, but he struggles in a lot of early game matchups. But I think into champions like Victor and other things like that, I think Azir would do pretty good. So this might make his laning a bit better, but I don't know. I'm not going to comment that much on it. I don't really know. It's a nice buff for him though. That's a big mana reduction. Elise got nerfed, it looks like. So this is I remember reading this and they said where is it? 11.10's jungle changes, she crawled up and over the line. Like apparently she was OP or something, which is like, what? Like really? Like I barely see this champ, and whenever I see this champ, it gets outscaled so hard. So like I have no idea why they think it's OP, but I guess their win rates must have told them it's OP, which is strange. But yeah, it is what it is. Ezreal, they are buffing Ezreal. Cool. I don't like this champ. He's really annoying to lane against, but yeah, he's a super fun champ, really popular champ, so fair enough. I mean, the Ezreal changes that I think are going to make him really, really strong again are not these. I think Ezreal's not even in that bad a spot. It's just he really struggles wave clear wise, like holding waves and controlling waves. But if you can scale, you're still just such a 1v9 champion. But I mean, his item build is also a little wacky right now, and it feels like you don't spike that hard until you get your Murmana. But I mean, I think Ezreal's fine, so this buff might even start encouraging people to play him again. I think Ezreal's pretty fine spot right now. They buffed Graves, cool. 1 extra AD growth per level. I assume that means you're gonna get 18 extra AD level 18. Holy shit, that's nuts. Pog. Yo, what's up, Zane? So yeah, very, very tiny Graves buff. I don't think it's gonna change much, to be very honest. Hecarim. So they buffed Hecarim because this guy has been like pretty underwhelming whenever I've seen him. They really hard nerfed his damage. I think it was necessary. I think I like when Hecarim's in the meta, he just destroys people because he's such a high move speed champ, and move speed champions are so dangerous. I was glad they nerfed him. Kind of nervous that they're buffing him again. They're giving him more Q damage and more E damage. Will it be enough? I don't know. We'll see. But I really hope Turbo Chem Tank Hecarim doesn't come back into my life, because I was on a beach in the Bahamas for these few patches where I haven't seen Hecarim. Like, I hate that champion with Turbo Chem Tank. It's so hard to play against. It is ultra hard to play against. But yeah, we'll see. I think with the bonus AD ratio, maybe it's more leaning towards AD Hecarim, like Triforce, Divine Sunder type Hecarim. They also buffed Divine Sunder this patch, so maybe we'll see that. They nerfed Lee a little bit, thank God. Holy crap, this champion is busted as hell. Like, it's just so disgustingly broken. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Like, this is probably not going to be enough to remove him from every role. Like, I'm telling you guys, this champion is wave clear and sustain and team fighting and skirmishing is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. So they're probably going to I reckon next patch they're going to nerf Lee one more time. They nerfed Leona, and this is a big nerf to her damage because she maxes W first, and it's gone down by 15 damage. I'm not sure. I guess she was just too strong, but like, I feel like this is actually a like a pretty heavy-handed nerf compared to stuff like, you know, this nerf, like 1 second off her E. This feels like a pretty large nerf because supports traditionally rely on their base damages, and 15 damage is quite a lot. But we'll see. I don't know. It feels like a pretty big nerf. But then again, Leona's still going to be fine. I reckon you'll still be able to play her. Master Yi, they nerfed his Q damage ratio to try and stop you building Duskblade, which is Pog, because Duskblade Yi is pure cancer. Like, playing against the Duskblade Yi is just horrible. Because he just goes in Viz, and then just Alpha Strike 6 times, and then you're just dead. Actually, he doesn't need to Alpha Strike 6 times, because there's only 5 players on the team. He Alpha Strikes 4 times after killing 1 person, and then you're dead. Yeah, this build was seriously disgusting, but I didn't see it that much in high elo. I just think it's more like a mid-low elo thing. And they nerfed his Q ratio and buffed his E, so they're trying to make you auto attack more. Cool, awesome. They are nerfing Morgana. Holy crap, Morgana is also very overtuned right now. She clears way too fast, and she has way too much safety in the jungle, in my opinion. Yeah, thank God. 30% extra reduction. 30% less damage to monsters. Fuck. I don't know why they buffed her into Narnia, just shoehorning her into the jungle, but it is what it is. I think this champion is definitely going to take a big hit from this, though, because this means her clear is way slower. Way slower. Nautilus. I'm really curious to see if Nautilus can be pulled off jungle. I reckon he's going to be like a Jarvan jungle, where his first clear is probably doable because he's going to take blue buff and use smite aggressively. And then after his first clear, he's basically not going to be able to farm because, okay, cool, his E does extra damage to monsters, but like, it does so little damage anyway that I don't think after first clear you're going to be running around clearing camps. Like, he's pretty much just going to have to permagank, and he's going to be like a Rammus, where he just doesn't do camps at all and he just keeps forcing ganks. But maybe it'll work. Who knows? I'm curious. I want to see some Nautilus jungle because this champ is hilarious in the jungle. Qiyana, they nerfed her a little bit, her move speed. Pog, cool. Will it change her enough to remove her from mid lane meta? We'll see. It's kind of a solo queue thing though. Like, high elo Qiyana players just dominate the map, so I don't know. It's a nerf in the right direction because she's like kind of nuts on the map when she gets a lead mid lane. They nerfed Rumble, Pog. That's a big nerf, I think. His clear has been nerfed pretty heavily. Cool. I personally would have just done the same thing that they did with Morgana. Like, why did you randomly buff Rumble into like the world's best clearing jungler? I don't know, but you know, this is a good nerf. I like it. Super good nerf. Rumble's nuts. Rumble's stupid. You know what they need to nerf though? They need to nerf this guy's R cooldown. It's literally up every 30 seconds in late game teamfights. That is dumb as hell. Like, he can ult for poke. It's so crazy. The dude will literally roll up, ult your AD carry, chunk him to half HP, and then have the ult in the next fight. Like 30 seconds later. How is that fair? This is crazy. But I mean, his R cooldown is, I guess, is one of his gimmicks. They buffed Rise like a lot. That's a pretty nice little health growth buff. Cool, awesome. I've been seeing Rise a little bit, so maybe I'll see him even more. Is he strong? I don't know, but there's a couple of solo queue players in high elo who play Rise and they're really good at him. So we'll see. Senna, they nerfed Senna. This is a really good nerf. I think Senna has been around for a little bit too long with her like tanky builds, and they are trying to make her not build tank, which is like, thank God, because tank Senna is yeah, I don't know. Tank Senna is just not a chief. It's a bit hard to justify that champion building full tank or even semi tank. They nerfed her attack range. Good, so she can't scale her range as hard. They gave her scaling on her healing with lethality, like awesome. I guess they're trying to encourage lethality builds again. And then they gave her some weird ass AP ratios, like awesome. That does literally nothing. I don't think anyone's gonna build AP on her, but cool, I guess. They buffed Seraphine, and when I was reading this the first time, I was like, these numbers look kind of nuts. They gave her like pretty like almost what 50% extra healing. I mean shielding on the self shield at level 18. So that's like I don't know. I'd assume at like level 10 it would probably be around like what 20%, something like that. 20 to 25% extra shielding on her W. Not bad. Like, not bad. This champion, they really want to sell skins. That's my take on it. Because yeah, when Seraphine's strong, like, holy crap, is she strong? But we'll see. And they also buffed her allied shield, so yeah, she can crap out much more shields than than before. But we'll see if it's like enough, because currently like Moonstone is in a bit of a weird and wacky spot, and every enchanter builds Shrelias. So will she still go like Shrelias, or will she try and go like full healing? I don't know. I think you can go both items on her, honestly. Shaco, they nerfed Shaco. Pog, nothing much to say. Screw that champ. That champion is just frustrating as hell to play against. Singed, they buffed Z. Pog, cool. I mean, I don't think it's going to make Singed OP, but he's actually playable in some matchups. And he actually 1v9s in some games. If you have like enemy team has a very few ways of dealing with high move speed Singed, I think this champ can actually just 1v9, which is hilarious. But Teemo, they buffed Teemo. Awesome. Alan will be happy. Alan 234. Hopefully he's happy with this. Cool. Nobody plays Teemo. Urgot. And they nerfed Urgot. Apparently Urgot was drilling through entire enemy teams in average levels of play. Alright, bro. Fair enough. So I guess they nerfed Urgot. Yeah. Feels bad for Urgot mains. But I guess he was too strong in average levels of play. Cool. Items. So they're nerfing Bramblevest. About time. Bramblevest has been around in a strong spot for way too long. Cool. So they're nerfing Bramblevest. Less armor. Reduced. No longer scales with bonus armor. The reflected damage. Cool. Warmogs. This Warmogs change looks like it's actually going to be built way more. I personally am expecting a lot more Warmogs. So cool. Basically, the requirement to get your health regen is based on your bonus health, not on your max health, which is awesome. Cool. And from what I heard, it's like second item or third item, something around there. Because Warmogs gives you bonus health alongside one other item, and boom, you've got your health regen, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Warden's Mail, they're making it scale off of your max health. Like, cool, awesome. I don't know if this is a nerf or a buff, mathematically speaking, but from my eye, it looks like an early game buff, but a late game nerf. That's what it looks like to me. And then they buffed Frozen Heart. So, awesome, I guess. Cool. You can trigger Warmog's first item on Shen. Wow, that's interesting. That is interesting indeed. Although Shen generally likes building, like if you go Warmog's first item, you're going to deal literally no damage. So, doesn't feel like the most, because you're just going to get shit on in lane. if you don't have any damage at all in lane or any way of trading. Moonstone Renewer has been buffed, so they're buffing the heal and shield power. Pog, I am assuming that enchanters are going to try it out and see whether it's strong as hell. And if it's strong as hell, I'm going to have to play against it all day. So thank you very much, Riot. Sucks, but oh well. Cool. Black Cleaver, they also buffed it. This item is just weird. It's in a weird spot. I don't know whether it's gold efficient at max stacks. It's probably like really gold efficient at max stacks, but the problem is there's just better items. For one item slot, I feel like there's just better, more cost-effective items. Items that give you like percentage health damage instead of removing their armor and stuff like that. Speaking of, Divine Sunderer. So they buffed Divine Sunderer. And this is kind of why I was thinking like maybe Hecarim is going to build this. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe like Camille goes back to her pure Divine Sunderer builds, because she used to build Divine Sunderer a lot. So we will see. We will see. I mean, it looks pretty nice. Extra 2% of target's max HP. Poggers. It's pretty nice. And extra healing. Always nice. Frostfire Gauntlet. Looks like they're just changing it for ranged mainly, but they're also nerfing it slightly. But it's basically being nerfed pretty heavily for ranged. Like, pretty massively for ranged users. Thank God. Senna Frostfire was just pure horrible cancer to play against. I'm really glad they're nerfing it, because that playstyle was really, really hard to play against. Like when she was strong with that item, she was so oppressive in lane that you can't really do anything. So Divine Thunder buff, yeah. So cool, yeah, they basically just gimped it for range users, so it's gonna be way less interesting to build on range champs. Feels kind of like a melee only champ to me right now. I can't think of any range champs that were like, whoa, Paul Crossfire anymore. So they're also buffing Staff of Flowing Water. Cool. Maybe the Moonstone Staff builds might make a comeback. We'll see. It looks pretty nice. Pretty nice. 5 extra AP for your allies, but it's nothing crazy. But I think Moonstone Staff might be a thing. And they buffed Serpent's Fang for range. This is a big deal, I think. Michael Mutt, thank you so much for the follow. This is a big deal, I think. The range changed. It's actually 10% reduction in shields if you build it on a ranged user over last patch, which is kind of crazy. Because yeah, like if you didn't have a Serpent's Fang assassin on your team and the enemy team had like shields, yeah, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. Kind of hard to deal with. So this might actually end up somewhat countering the extra buffs they gave to Seraphine and Moonstone and stuff like that, but we'll see. I guess in terms of support, they added Watchful Wardstone, so you buy it for 1100 gold. I gave my thoughts on this last time I streamed, but let me be honest, I don't know. I don't feel like anyone's going to buy this unless it's like a 40-50 minute game and you have nothing else to buy. Because you're just dumping 1100 gold. Keep in mind this is after your support items quest is finished, so you're not getting any gold income at all. And then you're sitting there going, I'm going to spend 1100 gold for 150 health and 10 ability haste. And then it turns it into, oh, Pog, you get 12% bonus health, attack damage, and ability haste and ability power. Which, like, you're probably not scaling very efficiently anyway on support. It just doesn't feel very good for that kind of cost. I would much rather buy, like, something to help my team survive. But, like, if I'm in a 50-minute game and I need pink wards and I have nothing else to do, sure, yeah, I'll buy this. But if I'm in a 50-minute game, I'm probably gonna buy a Elixir of Iron or something over this. You know what I mean? To win the next fight. Cool. And they nerfed Halo Blades, which is another big nerf because Tristana, Varus, Kai'Sa, they all use Halo Blades. Really big nerf for Halo Blades. So we'll see. We'll see if it's like yeah, I don't know. We'll see if like maybe they'll go back to lethal tempo, or I think Kai'Sa will stick with Halo Blades. I can't imagine Kai'Sa Tristana would change. I feel like Halo Blades Varus will be a little less popular, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a big nerf. 4-second nerf on Halo Blades is pretty big. And they nerfed biscuits, so you can't resell biscuits anymore. So it's kind of like only for lane. Feels bad. No more 30 gold biscuits. F in chat for supports. Rip our gold income, but it's okay. I'm probably not going to take biscuits unless I absolutely know I'm going to use them, because if they sit in your inventory now, they kind of shit. So yeah, unlucky for biscuits. Feels bad, bro. Feels bad. Oh, Pog, Nexus Blitz. Wow. That's a lot of balance changes for Nexus Blitz. Sheesh. And then it's all just bug fixes. And every time there's a bug fix, I always scour the bug fixes for them removing the stupid bug where you combo an Alistar and then you start floating for the rest of the rest of your life. And like you're like really disjointed from where your cursor is to where you walk. And they never do. They never fix it. And I'm super sad. So I think I'm going to start tweeting at Riot employees asking them to fix this bug because it's really annoying. But it hasn't happened to me in the last few days of streaming, and it's super random when it happens. But when it happens, it's really hard to play with. But they did change Alistar's Q so you don't get a passive stack when you hit a spell shield to target. I don't think that changes much. Cool, awesome, Pog. Anyway, yeah, that is the patch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna smash that Q button, and we're gonna queue up and try and stay in Challenger.